Health practitioners and partners have gathered to mark Maternal Mortality Day on the theme African Day on the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mobility and Mortality. Samuel Barr reports the peak of the celebrations was held in Sukuta, Kombo North.
Rest of the world to celebrate the Day of African Maternal and Newborn Morbidity and Mortality. Health officials converged in droves at the Sukuta Health Center to mark an occasion accentuating what is really a global concern, principally seeking to increase sensitization, rousing public awareness on a worrying health issue. The occasion emphasized endeavors impelled towards satisfying two main MDGs. Goal number 4 and 5 are bent on curbing infant mortality and improving maternal health by 2015. 536 per thousand each year. That's the staggering estimate of infant and maternal deaths across the country, according to a study by the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare.
In the Gambia, maternal mortality stands to be 536,000 per live birth. And this figure is still high, and a lot needs to be done to reduce this figure to a very minimal significant number. The government of the Gambia, through the Ministry of Health, has played its quota in the rendering of free maternal and child health services to the people of the Gambia.
Fatou Cham, who represents the Village Development Committee, lauded the Sukuta Health Center for the bold step taken towards reducing child deaths in the area, whilst pledging more support to the local clinic. A drama performance critically illustrated the plight of mothers, highlighting the challenging demands of childbirth. And the climax is certainly essential in transmitting the vital message driving efforts. Officials tasked traditional communicators to spread the message through songs and local traditions, ensuring collective solidarity in the move to fulfill MDG Goal 4 and 5. Samuel Ba, GRTS.
Well, time now to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at news from outside the Gambia. Stay tuned in.
His Excellency the President, Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jammeh, and a high-powered entourage will return to Banjul on Saturday, 29 June 2013, from his annual Dialogue with the People tour. The presidential convoy will depart Kanilai in a spectacular procession all the way to the capital city Banjul. A grand welcoming ceremony will be staged with lots of entertainment and ambience. All are invited to join the procession and line the routes from Kanilai to Banjul to give a befitting welcome to His Excellency the President after a successful Dialogue with the People tour.
Welcome back to GRTS News. Now, one country that is not on U.S. President Barack Obama's itinerary for his African tour is Kenya. The government in Nairobi is shrugging it off, but as CNN's Nima El Bagir reports, many ordinary people see it as a slight.
In Nairobi, Kenyans can signal political allegiances and celebrate their special occasions all at the same time. Cakes of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, among others, are still big sellers. But there's one man who's had a pretty spectacular slide down the rankings, US President Barack Obama. Now, you're actually making this especially for us.
Yeah, sure.
Because you just don't get any orders.
Not anymore.
But at one point, this was one of your biggest sellers. And then, how many do you sell now?
Absolutely none. We are really, really disappointed. And now that he's coming to Africa and he's not coming to Kenya, now that makes it even worse.
Often referred to as East Africa's anchor state, Kenya is a U.S. ally in the fight against Islamist militants and is viewed as crucial to regional economic growth. Throw in the fact that President Obama's father hails from here, and the country's omission from the president's itinerary has left some Kenyans feeling more than a little snubbed. And this trip comes as the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Vice President William Ruto, who both face charges of crimes against humanity from the International Criminal Court, has brought a noticeable chill to Kenya-US relations. But if the Kenyan government is feeling slighted, it's certainly not letting on.
We have not been snubbed because, like I have said it before, President Obama did not snub us as a country. They arranged that he goes to only 3 countries in Africa, yeah, not the 54, and that is the point I'm trying to point out. Okay. So I wouldn't say that really we have been snubbed, and I'm not worried, and we as a government are not worried.
A lot of the observers and the analysts that are commenting on this are interpreting this as a distancing from President Obama's side, that he does not want to be associated with the charges that are hanging over President Kenyatta and Vice President Ruto. What do you say to that?
You know, I'm not a lawyer, but they say you are innocent until proved guilty.
And both men maintain their innocence. If there is one place Mr. Obama will be assured a warm welcome, if and when he does visit Kenya's Western Nyanza province, where his father Barack H. Obama Sr. was born and raised. And his cousin Said Obama is asking his fellow Kenyans to be a little patient.
Whatever he does, there will always be criticism. If he engages with Africa, there will be criticism. If he doesn't, there will be criticism.
Do you feel that there is a part of him that belongs to this place?
Yeah.
That belongs to Africa?
Yeah. He traces his origins to, Kogelo, which is in Africa, or to Kenya, which is in Africa.
Here, yeah.
And that relationship will always be there. I think he means a lot for Africa, a lot of good things for Africa.
He has visited Kenya before, most recently in 2006 as a senator. But many Kenyans hope Mr. Obama will eventually visit his father's land again as president. And then all they say will be forgiven.
The U.S. intelligence community is under the microscope for leaks again. This time, a former top military advisor to the president is under scrutiny. Retired Major General James Cartwright is being investigated over information that was given to a reporter. Barbara Starr reports that the information included classified material about Stuxnet virus.
Here in Washington has offered no comment, and neither has the Obama administration. But our sources are telling us, yes, that General Cartwright, now retired, is under investigation by the Justice Department for giving information that appeared in a book by the New York Times journalist David Sanger. Confront and Conceal was the title of the book about Iran's nuclear program. NBC reporting that it was about Stuxnet, that computer virus that the U.S. was said to be behind. Besides and in addition to the potential leak of classified information, terribly serious, it is just jaw-dropping around the Pentagon that General Cartwright could have potentially done this. He is respected as one of the most brilliant military minds that there is, a 4-star Marine, retired in 2011, very close to President Obama, an expert in nuclear weapons and cyber warfare. Hard to understand, many people say, that he might have gone down this road, so a lot of people are waiting to see what happens, what the next step is. We must emphasize, so far, no indication that General Cartwright has been charged, but he is under investigation. Christy?
Yeah, waiting to see what's next. A shock reaction there in Washington, especially inside the Pentagon, to this. The first story involving leaked information about Stuxnet came out last year in the New York Times. How damaging has it all been?
Well, the revelation of Stuxnet's damaging to U.S. intelligence, because when it was then understood that the U.S. and even potentially the Israelis were behind it, it certainly gave the Iranians a bit of a roadmap as to what the U.S. was after. But experts in cyber warfare, in communications networks, will tell you that Stuxnet then made its way into computer systems around the world, causing damage and really becoming one of the first well-understood spreads of a global computer virus. So it gave a lot of people a lot of pause for thought about what this whole concept of cyber warfare can really do.